This is so important. Esto es tan importante. No dejes que una mala acción que tomaste un día y tuviste un DWI, o usaste una droga, o abusaste de alcohol y tuviste una consecuencia legal, no dejes que esa única situación de haber tomado una mala decisión una noche afecte el resto de tu vida.
Todos los martes, en punto de las 12, escucha a la doctora Natalia Luragis en su programa En Consulta. Un show que trata de consejos médicos, salud y belleza, y donde la doctora Luragis contesta todas tus preguntas. ¡Comenzamos!
Hola, 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 mi gente hermosa, preciosa, chula, bonita, cositas caídas del cielo que nos escuchan a través de 318 Latino, su radio digital en español. Nuevamente aquí su amigo, su servidor, su compadrito Brian García, acompañándolos desde el centro, el downtown de Shreveport. Y bueno, pues el día de hoy, martes, tenemos un nuevo invitado y por supuesto dentro del show de nuestra queridísima amiga la doctora Luragis. Esto viene siendo En Consulta. Tenemos al señor Joey y a la doctora Luragis. Hello guys, you guys doing all right today?
Doing really great.
Excellent.
This is so good to have Joey in the show. Hoy estamos aquí con Joey, que él está a cargo de lo que llamamos los recursos humanos del Centro de Adicción y Alcoholismo aquí en Shreveport, y nos va a hablar un poquito sobre las oportunidades que nosotros tenemos en la comunidad latina y qué hacer si nosotros en algún problema, en algún momento reconocemos que podemos llegar a necesitar ayuda. Thank you, Joey, for coming today, and thank you for sharing everything and all the great things that you're doing for our community.
Well, thank you.
Bueno, para la gente que nos está viendo, vamos a platicar un poquito acerca de algo muy interesante. Today we're going to talk about something that's really interesting and very important to a lot of people, that is mental health and dealing with certain aspects of our lives that we may lose out of control throughout our lives when, you know, we're not able to control, how can I put this delicately? Sometimes things happen and we need help. Yes. That's the best way I can say it. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. If you'd like to start, Doctora.
Of course, of course. This is such a beautiful topic, right? It's kind of like what Brian was trying to tell us. Sometimes things get out of control. We understand that we are overwhelmed. We understand that we need sometimes help. That help can come sometimes from your doctor. It can come from the community. It can come from a higher power. Mm-hmm. But we need to recognize that we need help. That is like one of our first steps. To think, okay, I really need to talk about what I'm feeling today. Or sometimes I just don't feel anything anymore, you know? So we all know that we could all be drinking too much, or we could use things to numb our feelings. These things can be illegal drugs. These things can be medicines that sometimes a doctor prescribes you, and right. You are taking them more than usual. Mm-hmm. For example, your doctor could be giving you some medication for anxiety, but you notice that you are suddenly taking this medication 4 times per day when the prescription said to take it half a tablet once per day. Some people is more prone under periods of anxiety, under periods of depression, or just under life to get things a little bit out of control. And when these things happen, they can have as well legal consequences. We could lose our license. We could not be able to have a job. We could get into legal situations. We could have a DWI. We could not be a great mom anymore because you are just in the bar all the time, or you could not be a good dad anymore because we start being absent of other people's life. So today we have a wonderful invitation for us to get familiar with this subject that no one wants to talk about. But that's why we're here today, because it's okay to not to feel okay. I don't want you guys to have any pressure to always have a smile, to always be happy, and to always share only your success. We're also here today to talk about what do you do when you get home? Do you drink 12 beers? Do you drink maybe a gallon of vodka? No one is here to judge you. We're just here to let you know and share the opportunity of what we do if we think we're drinking too much, what we do if we think we're taking a prescription too much, or what we do if we think we're smoking weed too much, or using cocaine too much, or using any type of illegal drug too much. We're not here to judge, we're here to help. So, Joey, why you don't tell us what do you do and how can you help people when they are in this situation?
Thank you, Natalia. What I do, I'm not a counselor as far as therapy counselor. I'm what you would call a HR counselor. So I deal with human resources and development. I'm certified through Texas A&M University, and it's through ASTD, which is the American Association for Training and Development. Anyway, all that to go into saying is I've done HR. I did it for one of the casinos here in town, and I've also done it doing software training for Texas A&M University, where I taught for 7 years faculty and graduates on how to put their courses online. Well, what I'm talking about is what happens if you lose your license as a nurse or doctor or a lawyer or even teacher, or even if you were a truck driver. When you lose your licensure, what kind of job can you get?
Cuando uno pierde su licencia para practicar el trabajo que esté practicando, ¿qué tipo de oportunidad uno tiene hoy en Shreveport, Louisiana?
So what we need to think about is to be healthy. If you've had DUIs and you can classify yourself as an alcoholic or an addict, what you need to realize is that this is not a mental issue as a sense that you have a choice in some cases. It's more a medical issue because you are sick. It's listed right below cancer in the DSM-10.
Lo que Joey nos está diciendo es que a veces tener un problema con el alcohol o tener un problema con las drogas no es una elección personal que uno hace, es en realidad una condición médica. Está en la lista de condiciones médicas en Estados Unidos, está debajo de la condición del cáncer.
With it being listed in the DSM-10, it means that it is a medical illness, and with that, it is considered a disability. And if you have this disability, there is government funds available for you to get assistance, whether it be collegiate, therapeutic, or on different levels.
Siendo una condición médica, lo que Joey nos está diciendo es que el gobierno americano da subsidio a estas personas si llegan a tener una disability, ¿cómo se diría, Brian, en español?
Deshabilidad.
Una deshabilidad producida por el alcoholismo o por la adicción de las drogas.
And so legally there are lots of ramifications for a disability. Employers have to offer opportunities for you to be able to get a job, and then they can't judge you for the disability. What I do is I work through therapists and doctors recommend my clients to me. And so I don't do any counseling as far as your behavioral issues. I do counseling as HR.
Lo que Joey está explicándonos es que muchas de las personas que él ayuda son personas que las ha mandado un doctor o un psicólogo. Joey no es un doctor ni es un psicólogo. Él está a cargo de los recursos humanos que tiene la organización de alcoholismo y de adicciones a las drogas aquí en Shreveport. Entonces, él está a cargo de demostrar o de darle oportunidad a la gente que hoy no puede trabajar debido a las condiciones o consecuencias legales que esto tuvo en su vida y guiarlos para darle las oportunidades adecuadas.
And what I try to do is I try to recommend if someone comes to me and they're wanting help, when they're not referred to me by a physician or a counselor, what I do is I try to plug them into a counselor or a physician. And to have good, what we would call sobriety, you would want to have your therapist or your psychologist and your doctor all in communication so that you can't go shopping for medications and so that you have someone that understands where you are. I don't deal with the person that is not in a 12-step program or a person that is not in there's several religious programs too in the area where people are learning about how to be sober. I don't do that type of counseling. Mm-hmm. All I do is deal with how do I get you employed or how do I get you in school.
Uh-huh. Lo que Joey está diciendo es que él no agarra a la gente que no necesita o que no está preparada para tener ayuda. Él toma a las personas que quieren mejorar a través del libro de Alcohólicos Anónimos y a través de los 12 pasos que el libro ofrece a la gente para que mejore, con una persona que es el psicólogo, el doctor y el referente familiar de esta persona, para demostrar que todos en un equipo pueden darle oportunidades para que esta persona pueda tener lo que nosotros llamamos sobriedad, que es cuando uno no está bajo el efecto de ninguna droga médica o ninguna droga ilegal o el alcohol.
Y también mencionó el hecho de que puede ayudarlos a conseguir un trabajo, también a escuela.
Exacto.
But I am certified in another area. When you're dealing with a person that is wanting to get into sobriety or the sobriety community, one of the things that I am certified in and licensed is I have a Master's of Divinity and I'm a licensed minister. And so what I can do is address to the higher power that you hear about in 12-step programs. So I do spirituality counseling, but here again, I am not a therapist. What I do is I refer you for the therapy. I will refer you to different counselors that I'm connected to, and rehab centers. If you're in full-blown addiction or you have somebody that's in full-blown addiction, there is hotlines in the area that can assist you. And one of them is it's found on the website at aa-shreveport.org. And
let's repeat that website also in Spanish, Brian.
What was it one more time?
aa-shreveport.org.
Es aa.shreveport.org.
It lists all the meetings and the Zoom meetings in the area.
Y también este website nos da la oportunidad de ver los lugares donde uno puede ir a hacer rehabilitación y también las reuniones de Alcohólicos Anónimos, que pueden ser en persona, pero que ahora por el coronavirus también pueden ser en Zoom a través de una computadora.
And if you Google CADA or Brentwood, those are two facilities in the area that also deal with addiction and suicidal issues that can be a result of an addiction. Here again, I'm not a therapist. I'm a counselor for HR, Human Resource Training and Development. So what I would do is I analyze when a person comes to me. I will have to have your resume and your transcripts if you've gone to college or vocational training, any licensures that you have. And what I do is I try to advise you as to who to get in contact with if you've lost your licensures and stuff. I'm not the board. I only know information and resources to point you to the direction of who can help you with, dependent upon whether you're a lawyer or a doctor or a nurse. And usually you know the associations that you have and the boards that have your licensures. What I do is I try to help these individuals find jobs that they're qualified for so that they don't get into a job such as, and this is not against anybody, but it's more prevalent for drugs and alcohol in the restaurant community. Mm-hmm. What I do is I try to steer you to a location that you're safer for your sobriety, so that you're not tempted by drugs and alcohol.
This is so important. Esto es tan importante. Joey está diciendo que hay mucha prevalencia del abuso del alcohol y de las drogas en la gente que trabaja también en los restaurantes y otro tipo de industrias. Entonces él te puede ayudar a este trabajo que vos estás permanentemente rodeado con alcohol o con gente usando drogas o preguntándote cómo conseguirlas, a relocalizarte en un lugar donde no haya alcohol, donde no haya drogas, para disminuir el riesgo de que uno use estas sustancias.
And so I'm also not a legal advisor. I'd have to be an attorney to do that. And I don't have a doctorate of jurisprudence.
Sí, Joey no es un abogado, él tampoco es un psicólogo, lo está aclarando. Él simplemente es la persona que nos puede dar los recursos a nosotros para poder mejorar nuestra vida. Joey, one of the questions that we got for today's show was like, what about our name? Is like this going to be shared in a public place? Because a lot of the people that maybe has an alcohol abuse or a drug addiction, or they are professionals in a restaurant or any type of facility, they have a lot of fear to be judged. Is this, or sometimes they don't even know if they have an alcohol abuse or a drug abuse. ¿Qué pasa con nuestro nombre, con nuestra identidad? ¿Es esta identidad, nuestro nombre, está protegido cuando vamos a un programa de este tipo? ¿O podemos llegar a tener problemas en el trabajo o cosas así? Is our identity protect under these resources that you offer?
Yes, individuals have to sign when they come to me. If they're gonna have my assistance, the therapist and the doctors that are referring their client to me, I have to sign a HIPAA agreement. So I don't disclose their information except for like if they want to go to workforce rehab, which is Louisiana Workforce Rehab is one of the resources that I refer people to. And in that case, their doctor, their nurse, and their attorney, if they're on probation or anything, they have to be in communication with the Louisiana Workforce Rehab, which is what it used to be the unemployment offices. Mm-hmm. What I do is I'll make sure that they have all the paperwork and all the application information ready for their first interviews and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I help them gather more information later on. Mm-hmm. If you in the 12-step community, the thing is that the individual, through therapy and through working with their doctors, determine whether or not they are an addict or an alcoholic.
El doctor determina si el paciente es un alcohólico o un adicto a las drogas.
And so I'm not like a clinician on telling people whether they have it or not. And even a doctor...
Joey no es la persona que va a diagnosticar si uno tiene alcoholismo o si tiene una adicción hacia las drogas.
So the individual can only speak for themselves. And as an individual, if you've had 3 DUIs...
como un individuo, tú tienes tu propia voz, tú tienes tu propia libertad de saber si que capaz tuviste 3 DWIs, que significan cuando te para la policía y uno está intoxicado, pero está poniendo en riesgo toda la población manejando tu auto intoxicado, capaz puede ser que tengas un problema.
So if you have had 3 DUIs, then you may have a problem. Even if you only had 1 DUI, you may have a problem.
Sí, capaz solamente teniendo uno, no hay que ir al extremo de tener 3 o 5, vas a tener un problema con la ley.
But that's up to you to decide whether or not you have this problem or not.
Pero es tu decisión decidir si tú tienes ese problema o no.
So I don't tell you what your problem is. I tell you how to fix a problem. And what I do is I try, once you've gone to court, say you went to court for your DUIs and you have to get a blower in your car, you have to do insurance, you have a whole bunch of hoops that you have to go through in order to get your license back just for driving, not to mention the hoops you have to go through to get your nursing, doctor, or lawyer licensures back. You have hoops that you have to jump through. Well, once you get those hoops that you see, if you're looking at the full process, you can get overwhelmed. So what I help the person do is I look at the individual plan that your attorney or your doctor or your employer board is telling you to do, and I help you analyze that and then figure out the best methods of going about doing that.
Lo que yo
Plugging
no
into
sé-
resources is
Exacto.
basically. I'm sort of like I don't want to say a gatekeeper, but I'm a resource agent. So I'm like an advocate for people that are trying to get back on their feet.
To better themselves.
Exacto. Exacto. Él lo que nos está diciendo en este momento es que cuando uno generalmente se encuentra con un montón de caos en su vida, puede que seas un médico, puede que seas un abogado, una enfermera, puede que seas un trabajador de cualquier tipo de industria, y llegaste a un momento en que te detuvieron y estabas intoxicado y te tenés que ir a hablar con un abogado y tenés que ver si vas a ir a la cárcel o no, y tenés que tener una maquinita para soplar en el auto para ver si estás intoxicado antes de tenerlo. Tenés consecuencias legales en nuestra comunidad de deportación, te pueden sacar tu licencia para manejar, te pueden sacar tu identidad, te pueden deportar a tu propio país. Cuando uno está en ese momento de caos, la persona para llamar va a ser Joy, porque él va a tener todos los recursos y te va a ayudar a poder organizar tus diferentes cosas que tenés que ir haciendo para recobrar tu sobriedad, y también para poder empezar un plan para recobrar todo lo que el sistema te está por sacar por violar las leyes.
And so what I'm excited about that I get to do is when you're doing human resources for a company, you're representing the company. And when a company goes under, they send in HR people to help them find jobs after the business has gone under. And that's the only time an HR person really gets to represent the individual. And so what I'm excited about that I get to do is I'm actually helping the individual, not looking at a company. And I have a minimum fee, and I won't get into the fees that I charge, but because it's a sliding scale, some people, I'm a bleeding heart sometimes, and I try to help as much as I possibly can an individual that maybe can't afford $50 an hour or something. And so I also do software training where I can help a person get their resume together. Because of being in human resources training and development, I also can coach people on where you can get clothes for interviews, where you can get, where are the resources for me to get jobs. And then since we're talking into the Latino community, how can I get a job with, say, the disability of not having a dual language background? Where can we help you? Where can we help you legally get employment and things of that nature? Because I only deal within the parameters of legal, but I have a sympathy for our community, and I really my goal is to help as many people as I can to conquer their own fears that can happen when you're wanting to become sober and you don't know how to do it. I like to plug people into a way of life that is so much more fulfilling and loving and caring. And so what I try to do is to help people to find the resource. I want to educate people, and this is something my teacher, Miss Dickerson, taught us when I was in special ed. I was in special ed from 2nd to 7th grade. And my teacher, Miss Dickerson, said, a good teacher teaches themselves out of being a teacher. And what I would like to do is teach people how to to help shore up, if you're wanting to be sober, how to shore up your employment area.
This brings tears to my eyes. It's like so deep. Joey está diciendo que él ayuda a la gente Por ejemplo, en nuestra comunidad latina hay veces que nosotros tenemos hasta la disabilidad de no poder hablar inglés y español. Él crea la oportunidad a esta gente que quiere mejorar, a esta gente que quiere estar con sobriedad, a esta gente que quiere dejar de tomar, que quiere dejar de hacer drogas, y les da una oportunidad laboral y les da la oportunidad de poder tener una comunidad sana que los está rodeando.
And I don't want to, I hope I didn't offend anyone by saying not being able to speak English is a disability, but there's a lot of depression whenever you can't communicate to somebody.
Él no quiere decir que no hablar inglés es una disabilidad, no quiere ofender a nadie, pero hay a veces que otras cosas pueden pasar. Uno puede tener depresión, uno puede tener ansiedad porque no te puedes comunicar. No te puedes comunicar con otras personas y hay veces que hasta no te puedes comunicar con los doctores, porque no hay muchos doctores que puedan hablar inglés y español en esta área. Obviamente que saben que yo hablo los dos, pero no todos tenemos la oportunidad por ahí de tener una persona que está hablando nuestro idioma.
And so as I'm thinking about this, and I hadn't thought about this until just this very second, was that in being learning disabled, I wasn't able to read. And when I wasn't able to read, I wasn't able to communicate about what was going on in the classroom. And so with my teacher teaching me how to read, I then was able to communicate on a higher level. When I was, as a young boy, I also had a speech impediment where I stuttered. And so it was difficult for me to communicate even in speaking. Yeah. So I understand, I don't understand fully, but I have an empathy and a sympathy for our Latino community, or any individual from any part of the world that can't speak English and they're in the United States. I understand the feeling of not being able to read. I understand the feeling of not being able to know what I'm supposed to know.
Cuando Joey era chiquito, él tenía un impedimento que no lo dejaba leer de una manera normal, y también tenía un impedimento en su lenguaje, donde era tartamudo y tuvo que ir a clases especiales para poder aprender a comunicarse. O sea que él siente una empatía por toda la gente que viene aquí pasando un montón de diferentes trabas en su vida para poder salir adelante.
And so what I try to do is I try to look at the individual's resume. And after I look at the individual's resume and their background, what I do is try to plug them into resources and people that can assist them to get to the help that they need, dependent upon, it's a case-by-case basis, really.
Joey ve el currículo de la persona, ve su experiencia, y a través de eso ve cómo los puede insertar de nuevo en la sociedad con un trabajo que sea el mejor. Además, Joey puede ayudar a esa persona si no tiene un currículum, que es como un summary de todo lo que uno hizo en su vida, porque él además está certificado para hacer todas estas cosas. This is such a great show. We're going to go ahead and go to commercials, and we're going to answer all the questions, and we're so excited to have Joey here today with us. So, Brian, I'm going to pass it back to you.
Ok, bueno, pues damas y caballeros, en estos momentos vamos a ir a un pequeño corte comercial. Si tienen alguna pregunta, les pedimos, pónganla dentro de los comentarios. Vamos a tratar de responderlas todas posibles. Y para la gente que tal vez no alcancemos a responder las preguntas el día de hoy, vamos a mandárselas directamente a Joey para que él nos las responda en un tiempo después, ¿verdad? Pero vamos a comerciales, regresamos en un par de minutos. No le cambien por nada del mundo. Esto es En Consulta a través de 318 Latino.
318 Latino, por internet desde Shreveport. ¿No tienes un plan médico? ¿Necesitas un doctor que hable tu idioma? Sure Access es tu clínica médica que te ofrece acceso directo a tu doctor por email, texto o teléfono, y te ofrece consultas en tu idioma al momento. Llama ahora y empieza a tener el servicio médico personalizado que te mereces. $99 al mes cuando firmas por 12 meses.
Envíos de dinero, carne fresca, pan dulce, comida preparada y todos sus productos favoritos los encuentra en El Novillo, en la 2242 Barksdale Boulevard en Bossier City.
Hola, soy Dayan Rodríguez con el Banco Regions. ¿Alguna vez te has preguntado, ¿será que yo puedo comprar una casa? Si estás interesado en los requisitos para iniciar una hipoteca y conseguir la casa de tus sueños, márcame al 318-429-1563.
Cuando estás en busca de un servicio para tu familia, uno quiere un trato amigable y servicio de calidad. El doctor Mario Pari está comprometido a proveer el mejor servicio de odontología disponible para toda su familia.
Desde Shreveport, 318 Latino.
Bueno, damas y caballeros, de esta manera regresamos a través de 318 Latino en consulta con la doctora Luragis. Y bueno, we are back at 318 Latino. We are en consulta. How do you say that in English?
I guess in consult.
On consult?
In consultation.
In consultation.
Yeah,
The consultation.
Yeah.
With Dr. Luragis.
Yes.
I like it.
I like it too. We should change the name? No.
Let's keep it.
Let's keep it in
For
Spanish.
now. Yeah, I like it Spanish. I would like to say, first of all, Joey.
That's how Joey.
I snort when I laugh. I'm sorry.
Man,
Me
it's
too,
okay.
actually. we are friends since forever.
Since 2007, I think.
Yes,
Wow.
it's 2007, and like we both snore like a little chanchito, como un how do you say it in English? Like a little piggy.
Yes.
When we laugh too hard, so it's funny. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry,
All right,
not sorry.
So, Joey, I'd like to, first of all, say thank you on behalf of the community, man, because doing what you do, I can guarantee it's not easy. I interview people all the time as far as, the types of jobs that they do and how each person decides to help the community and how each person decides to take a path on life that they of course want to be able to live on and at the same time have a passion for. And I can tell you're very passionate about what you're doing. I've interviewed officers all the time who people blame things a lot on cops and stuff, but they don't get to see all the bad that they have to see every day. All the they go to a house, there's a murder. They go to another house, drug addict, another house, stab somebody. So and in a sense, you are dealing with a very similar situation where, when we as people start getting into these habits of drinking and using, and we lose, we're spiraling out of control in our own lives, and you try to give them a hand, I'm sure you get to see a lot of people that are depressed, a lot of people that are trying their very best but still don't know how to help themselves. So I want to thank you for having the passion that you have for the job that you've chosen for yourself.
Good job, Joey. Good job. We're so proud of you.
Lo que le estaba diciendo, damas y caballeros, es que quiero felicitar a Joey. Quiero felicitar a Joey por la decisión que él ha tomado de tener esta carrera que él ha escogido. Yo tengo la oportunidad de entrevistar a gente todo el tiempo. Las historias que más me gustan son las historias de los policías, porque los policías tienen que ver lo peor de la sociedad todos los días y la gente es muy mal agradecida con los policías porque no entienden que ellos ven lo peor de lo peor todos los días. Van a una casa, homicidio, van a otra casa, drogadictos, van a otra casa, alguien robó. Entonces ellos están todos los días viendo lo peor de la sociedad, y es una situación similar en la que está Joey, donde él está viendo todos los días a gente que, aunque están tratando de mejorarse, están en un punto de sus vidas donde están expirándose, fuera de control, y están con depresión, están en puntos de sus vidas donde la verdad no es la mejor persona que pueden ser, y él está lidiando con este tipo de personas todos los días por su pasión de él para ayudarlos. So, lo felicito. Joey, first of all, let me ask you this. You said you used to work as human resources for companies, right? And now you're doing this on your own? Are you working from another company?
I'm doing it on my own.
On your own? That's tremendous. That's incredible, man. Yeah, I mean, I've never thought that somebody could make I mean, to me, I think it would be a type of dream job to have something so passionate about. I mean, I understand there's so much difficulty to it. I can believe that, but for you to be able to do that, I can tell you're very passionate about that.
Thank you.
My first question would be, what are some of the resources that you offer people? ¿Cuáles serían algunos de los recursos que le ofreces a la gente?
Well, one of the resources that I offer to my client is I offer counseling in the sense of what do I need to do as far as getting myself ready for employment.
So creating a type of guideline of step 1, steps 2, step 3. This is
Haircut.
Very basic things that people don't think about.
They don't. Your haircut, your deportment as far as how you dress,
Posture.
and being appropriate for the job that you're wanting to go to.
Right.
And so I do that, and then I also deal with the resumes. I'm certified in the full Microsoft Office suite. I also know how to design websites. And so what I do is I plug my clients into resources such as the Microsoft certification for the mouse certification. And it's not the mouse that runs across the floor. It's the actual Microsoft Office suite certifications. And what I do is I plug them into helping them get Word, Excel, Access, and things of that nature certified. And then what I do is I help them get the resumes together, like I've already said. And one of the resources that I try to plug them into is things that are already out there that they may not, that they've heard about, but think, well, I was a doctor, so I can't do this. Well, there's resources out there that are free, such as Goodwill Industries helps people get back on track and get their resumes together, and has a lot of good courses. The other one is getting in touch with Louisiana Workforce Commission or Louisiana Workforce Rehab.
I think that'd be a good stopping point to let her try to
Yes,
translate.
of course. Joey nos está hablando de los recursos que nosotros podemos acceder cuando lo llamamos por teléfono. Uno de los recursos que él hace es que nos prepara una presentación de computadora donde está nuestro currículum con todo lo que nosotros hicimos profesionalmente a lo largo de nuestra carrera o de nuestra vida. También él ayuda desde tu corte de pelo a la manera en que te vestís, la presentación que tenés que tener para tu entrevista de trabajo, y también te ofrece la oportunidad de estar certificado en cómo manejar la computadora con el programa de Microsoft, que tenemos el Microsoft Word, el Microsoft Excel y diferentes opciones que podemos agregar a tu currículum para que Joey te pueda conseguir un trabajo. Es muy importante, chicos, entender que la adicción no discrimina. La adicción y el alcoholismo no discriminan. No importa si uno es de Argentina, si uno es de la China, si uno es de Estados Unidos. Es como el coronavirus. No importa si hablas español, si hablas inglés. Uno puede llegar a sufrir de una adicción en un momento pequeñito de tu vida. No la dejes que destruya tu vida. Trata de reconstruirla. I was just saying that addiction doesn't discriminate. It doesn't choose, like, for me to be Argentinian or for someone to be from China or from someone to be American. What do you speak? It doesn't discriminate. It just happens.
And it attacks.
It definitely does.
And it's always waiting for you too. So that's why these resources that Joe is talking about are so important.
So one thing I was noticing is telling me teaching people, getting Microsoft certified, that opens a whole new realm of opportunities that they obviously didn't have in the beginning, man. If you're stuck, like you said earlier, in a job where alcohol is surrounded by you, if you've been living in restaurants your entire life and working that, it's kind of hard to step away from that.
It's very fearful.
It's fearful. You're comfortable there. You're in a zone of, you're kind of a robot. You know what you need to do. You know your task, and you accommodate yourself to just go from restaurant to restaurant if that's the type of life that you have, because you don't have any other skills. You just grew with that. A lot of people do restaurants their whole lives, and some are very comfortable with it. They don't have problems with it. Some aren't. Some have to try to find new skills and new options and new opportunities to get out in a workforce and learn something new, and being able to have a desk job, a computer job, to challenge your mind in a different way rather than just take orders and clean dishes, which I'm not putting anybody down for doing that. They're very honorable jobs.
Yes,
but challenging yourself as an individual and as a professional, that's a great opportunity to have.
Yeah, and one of the things that I try to do is I try to help people work within their parameters of their niche of what they know.
Right.
And like dual language right now in the IT profession is huge. So if you're dual language, there's a lot of jobs that you could work from home by having a computer and a phone, a cell phone, and you could do all kinds of stuff. There's several employers, large employers in the Shreveport-Bossier area that deal with hiring dual language. Like there is a deficit.
And there's a bonus too for you having
you get a signing bonus at some of these companies for coming on to work.
Es la diferencia que uno tiene al poder ofrecer hablar español y hablar inglés. Uno puede trabajar desde su casa, desde la computadora, o hay muchas empresas que además te pagan un bono extra para poder trabajar para ellos cuando uno sabe inglés y también español.
Okay, let me continue on. You mentioned places, right, as far as getting a job. Can you tell us some of the options or some of the agencies that people can...
Well, I've already mentioned two, Goodwill Industries, and then also the other resource that's really excellent is the Louisiana Workforce Commission. And the Workforce Commission and the Louisiana Workforce Rehab Commission. Both of them are very, very, very helpful in helping people get back on track. In fact, the Louisiana Workforce Commission helps people to get scholarships for vocational training and even college.
Oh, that's incredible.
Tenemos la oportunidad
And in some cases, they can get you a full scholarship.
Hay scholarships y hay dinero disponible para que uno pueda volver también a estudiar.
But this is for like if you're legally able to work in the United States. I have to reiterate that.
Esto es para la gente que está legalmente en los Estados Unidos y tiene papeles de también inmigración que muestran que son un ciudadano americano.
Because they're going to want your tax records, they're going to want to have your medical records, they're going to want to have your resume, and they're going to want to have if you have any legal issues, they want to know all of that up front. And you're also going to have your birth certificate and stuff like that.
I think this would be a good option for me to kind of step in and try to find a collaboration from some of the lawyers and Latino, people that we have in the area that can help people also. I could probably send you resources of where to send people in case they need to start their legalization or to be able to get a work permit, a work visa.
That would be something that I would really need.
The DREAM Act, because they just let the DREAM Act start over again. So now people can actually apply to get that DREAM Act going. So
I would really love those resources.
Okay. I'd be
so
glad to
another thing that I would really like to iterate is there are resources for if you've decided that you are an alcoholic or addict and you're in active addiction, there are resources or rehab centers in the area. I mentioned two already, CADA, and then Brentwood. There's also New Day Recovery. These are all local rehab centers.
Hay localidades para rehabilitarse si uno piensa que es un alcohólico o un adicto. Joey nos está nombrando tres. Uno es el
CADA,
CADA, and
I can't remember what the letters are for. I'm dyslexic, so I get everything turned around.
And I'm Spanish, so I get it too.
It's the CADO
Addiction Disease Association or something
something like that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wait, what are the other two, Joey?
Brentwood
es la otra. ¿Y la tercera?
And then New Day Recovery.
New Day Recovery, que son tres centros de rehabilitación. Do you have to pay, Joey, to go to these rehab centers?
If you have Medicaid, that can help you, or insurance. If not, then they have a fee. They can do fees private.
Right.
Tenemos pacientes o gente o clientes que tengan seguro de salud o Medicaid, que es el programa del gobierno americano. Pueden tener acceso a esto de forma gratuita, pero hay otra forma que es pagando. Joey, ¿cuánto sería? How much will be to pay for this? ¿Cuánto sería ir a la rehab?
It's dependent upon which one. I know of individuals that have gone to facilities that can cost upwards of $40,000 for 3 months, or it can be nominal to where it's like There are some that are free, that are like Rayville Recovery.
Hay
out
algunos
near
que son
Monroe.
gratis, otros que pueden ir hasta $40,000 por 3 meses.
But most, don't let the amount of money stop you from getting in touch with a facility.
No dejes que la cantidad
Because
de
there's
dinero
scholarships.
te pare a tener el contacto con el centro de rehabilitación. Joey, should these people contact you before they go to rehab or after? ¿Esta gente tendría que contactar a Joey antes o después?
To get in contact with me, I'm here again. I'm not a therapist. I'm not an interventionist or any of those things. I just have resources. And so what I would do is, it's very, very imperative, and I can't say this enough, to be in touch with a doctor or a therapist. If you're a family member and you have a family member that is in active addiction, it is very important to get in touch with like a facility such as CADA or Brentwood.
Es muy importante, si tienes un hijo o una hija que está en adicción o tú eres una persona en adicción, que te contactes con tu doctor o que te contactes con un psicólogo.
It's not advisable at all for a person that isn't even an alcoholic to go cold turkey without being with a doctor. Because if you've been an alcoholic for a prolonged period of time, to go cold turkey without drinking, you can go into convulsions and seizures, you can die.
Es muy importante que tú veas al doctor si tú sufres de alcoholismo, porque acordémonos que estos pacientes van a sufrir a veces de convulsiones, depresión, ansiedad y diferentes tipos de condiciones que tu médico debe de manejar.
So I highly recommend getting in touch with your doctor, a general practitioner.
You can always call me. Tú siempre puedes llamar a nuestra clínica para poder agarrar y empezar tu cuidado médico y también tener los recursos que tu médico te puede dar, como ir a ver a Joey o otros recursos que capaz una persona con alcoholismo o adicciones va a tener. Nuestra clínica es Sure Access MD, está en 1500 Line Avenue, y nuestro número de teléfono que te permite firmar para la membresía por $99 al mes cuando firmas por un año, cuando quieres hablar en español, es 318-426-8351. Joy, can you share the way that people can contact you? Joy, ¿podrías compartir la forma en que te podemos contactar a ti?
In order to contact me, I only use my email. And that is Joey, Joey, period, Taylor, 84 at yahoo.com. Again, that's Joey, period, Taylor, 84 at yahoo.com.
Woohoo! I love that voice.
Right? I gotta match that one in Spanish now, man.
You better.
Bueno, damas y caballeros, para la gente que quiera contactar a Joey.
When I was in speech,
I love it.
When I was in speech communications, I have a tenor voice by nature, but when I sing, I'm a baritone. So when I was doing radio, when I was in college, they told me to speak with my speaking voice. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
Go for it.
Hello, this is Joey Taylor. Can I help you?
Brian, now you do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, one man, one dream, one funny comedian.
I'm not going to do it, guys. But I can listen at the lungs.
Anyways, para la gente que esté tratando de contactar a Joey, es joey.taylor84 @yahoo.com y joey.taylor84 @yahoo.com. Vamos a poner esa información en la pantalla también para la gente que necesite contactarlo.
Perfecto. ¿Tenemos alguna otra pregunta, Brian?
Una pregunta, sí, un testimonio. Is there any stories or any testimonies you can give to us? You don't have to mention anybody, of course, personally, but I'm sure you've seen some things, and you know, give us, one story.
I have several success stories here recently. I've only been doing this for about 4 or 5 months. 6 months, actually. And I have like 3 clients that I can speak of right now that have gotten scholarships to LSU and BIPSI. One was a young lady who happens to be a hairdresser, and she's developed arthritis really bad, and she's had major foot issues. And so she not only has the issue of having been an alcoholic and addict, she has a disability, a physical disability, that is going to prevent her from doing hair from now on. And she thought at the beginning that she would, because she had applied through Workforce, but was stopped because she thought that she wasn't going to get it, because there's hoops you have to jump through, and they may say no, but they're saying no because you didn't give them all the information you needed to give them. And so she's found out that she's going to get some money to go to school because of the physical disability, as well as the other disability of being an alcoholic and addict.
Right.
So it jumped her up on the scale as far as what's happening to her. And then I have 2 individuals that a male and a female that are younger, and we found out that they got full scholarships to go back to school. And then I have another individual that was able to find work, and they are accommodating his physical disability as well as his addiction disability. What happens whenever you are an alcoholic or an addict is you end up with a social disability almost. It's like when people you're expecting them to say no because you maybe have still on your record a DUI or a felony. And if you have those things on your record, you just think no one's going to want me.
Right.
And you can be the most outgoing person and still be unable to meet the need that you have.
Right.
And so the success stories are seeing that there is a possibility for you. And
Let me translate a little bit of this. Joey nos estaba diciendo que tiene muchas historias de suceso durante su carrera. Por ejemplo, una señora que tenía artritis en las manos y era una peluquera, pero que además era alcohólica y tenía adicción a las drogas. Entonces, de esa manera, él pudo conseguir acceso a que ella tenga una scholarship para poder pagar una nueva carrera.
Una beca.
Una beca. Entonces también conoce a un chico y a una chica que son de una edad más temprana, donde él también les pudo dar acceso a una beca en la escuela de LSU, aquí en Luisiana. Y hay veces que uno tiene mucho miedo cuando tiene estas cosas en su récord, como una felonía, o como un DWI, o que la policía, o que uno tuvo un problema legal, y se siente, ay, nadie me va a querer contratar, nadie me va a dar una oportunidad. Go ahead, Joy.
And the other thing is that whenever, as you were speaking, and I was speaking about the things that can be happening to you, that's why it's important for you to be referred to me. Because I don't want to ever give you counseling on a medical or mental issue. And so that's why I love it's a God thing, I say. My best friend is a doctor. And so she would be, for my Latino community, I would want her to refer. Like, get in touch with Dr. Natalia. Mm-hmm. She's very pretty and she's very smart. But don't confuse, she will slap a girl. But I love her, and she is very about total health. Right. And so I would highly recommend you getting in touch with Dr. Natalia so that she can refer you to me, so that we know that we're ticking all the boxes, mm-hmm. and making sure that you're getting the assistance that you really truly need. And there are therapists and doctors in the community that if you're financially impaired, that have sliding scales. Most of the people that I work with are bleeding hearts. I lived on the Enneagram. When I found out what number I was highly irritated. I'm a 2, which means I'm a nurturer. And so what makes me mad is when people don't do what I ask them to do when I know it's something that they need to do.
Right.
So I kind of, if I was ever a parent, I would be one of those helicopter dads. I would be hovering over them.
Right.
Joey nos está diciendo que hay muchos doctores y muchos terapeutas que nos dan la oportunidad de ajustar al dinero que nosotros tengamos. No hay un precio para que uno tenga la oportunidad de estar sobrio. No hay un precio en que uno no puede llamar a un doctor y acceder a la oportunidad de tener ayuda. Lo único que necesitamos es esa comunicación. Si ustedes creen que tienen un problema, obviamente siempre me pueden venir a ver a mí y siempre los puedo poner en conexión con Joy para que los guíe con los recursos diferentes que tienen para poder enfrentar la adicción. Pero recuerden que Dios siempre tiene un plan para nosotros y ese plan solo lo vamos a descubrir si le preguntamos, si tomamos una decisión de decir, ok, me parece que por ahí sí necesito ayuda.
Excelente. Bueno, I'm very happy of how things turned out today. I mean, we were gonna do a completely different show, and I didn't know you were coming in, and I'm.
I didn't know I was coming in either.
We didn't know. We didn't know.
We were having coffee and breakfast, and it was very organic.
Yes.
You never know what's going to happen with Natalia. When Natalia and I get together, it's a hoot and a holler.
Yes, we were having breakfast, and actually I was coming here to talk about another another show that we will have that is about how to take care of our skin this summer. This is a show coming next week. And I told Joey, actually, I think you should come and talk about this because this is so amazing what you're doing. And this is such a need in our community. En nuestra comunidad latina hay tanta necesidad de poder ver que a veces tenemos un problema con alcohol o con drogas.
Y bueno, algo que me gustaría también mencionar es el hecho de usualmente lo que nos pone en estados depresivos, en estados de miseria con nosotros mismos, es la falta de información y la falta de recursos, la falta de saber dónde empezar.
Exacto.
La falta de guianza entre nosotros mismos, ¿verdad? Entonces, lo que Joey está haciendo, por lo mejor que tengo entendido, es si una persona ya tiene algún diagnóstico, ya decidió que tiene un problema y dentro de su propia vida está teniendo dificultades de conseguir un trabajo, regresar a la escuela, pero es una persona que ya decidió, sabes que yo necesito mejorar mi vida. Lo que hace Joey es darle, primero que todo, aconsejarle según la persona. O sea, hace una consulta con él, con ella, consulta para ver cuál es el problema que tiene dentro de su vida. Si necesita conseguir un trabajo, él le ayuda o la ayuda a conseguir un trabajo específicamente a los conocimientos y habilidades de esa persona. Y si esa persona también gustaría regresar a la escuela, entonces él también le da los recursos a esa persona para que pueda volver a tener una educación y mejorar su vida paso con paso con paso, que es una manera organizada y muy divina de tratar de conseguir control de nuestras vidas nuevamente.
Exacto.
I'm just, trying to summarize.
I understood a little bit.
Good.
Yes,
So,
I think that this is like great, Joey. Like, we're so blessed and honored to have you today in the show, and it's so beautiful to be able to give this opportunity, like Brian said, to people that is actually looking for help or was already diagnosed with a alcohol abuse or a drug abuse and want to change their life.
318 Latino por internet desde Shreveport.
¿Estás buscando un abogado? James Trujillo tiene muchos años de experiencia y habla español. Llama ahora para una consulta al 318-742-1999. Le podemos ayudar con accidentes de auto, accidentes de trabajo y sobre todo en inmigración.
Holiday Inn downtown Shreveport is now hiring for the following positions: maintenance man, room attendant, laundry attendant, front desk clerk, and accounting clerk. Wages starting at $9 an hour depending on experience. For more information, call 318-200-4297 or 318-834-7277. La Ranchera Meat Market en la 1500 Yuri Drive. Cuenta con carnicería, servicios de dinero, abarrotes, pan calientito y todo tipo de productos latinos. La Ranchera Meat Market.
Desde Shreveport, 318 Latino.
The thing that I'm very grateful for and I'm very passionate about is any individual that's needing assistance, even if you're not in AA or NA. There's other addictions that you may have, or you may be a family member. So if you're a family member of someone that is an alcoholic or an addict, there's Al-Anon available. And I strongly recommend being involved with a 12-step community or within there's Celebrate Recovery that's out of some of the churches in the community. Mm-hmm. So I believe in being involved and being looking for help from a therapist and a doctor, because there are medical issues that can occur because of your addictions. The opioid epidemic is really prevalent, and to get off of opiates, you need medical assistance to do so.
Lo que Joey nos dice es muy importante. Si nosotros somos un familiar de una persona con adicción, alcoholismo o drogas, también es importante que consigamos nuestro médico, porque también podemos estar no sabiendo, como decía Brian, sufrir porque no sabemos cómo ayudarnos a nosotros mismos a través del recurso de Al-Anon, que es para las personas que tienen familiares o gente que aman, que están en el momento de adicción. Es importante también para ellos que tengan un doctor, que tengan un terapeuta, que sepan los recursos que existen hoy en esta sociedad. Joey, I have a question about that. Is any meetings in AA or Al-Anon in Spanish? ¿Hay algunas de las reuniones de Alcohólicos Anónimos o de Al-Anon que es para los familiares de personas con adicción en español aquí en Shreveport, here in Shreveport?
There are some. What we would want to do is get on the NA or the AA websites. The AA, I don't have the NA in my mind at the moment, but the aa-report.org has meetings. However, their in-person meetings have changed because of the coronavirus. So if you look at what is called Meeting Guide, it's a Meeting Guide app that you download. In Meeting Guide, you can look for meetings that have like all female, all male, or you can have them for the LGBTQ community. It's a serviceable website.
Estos son otros recursos que son apps para ver el tipo de reuniones que puede haber en inglés o en español aquí en Shreveport, pero que han cambiado por el coronavirus y nuestro social distancing que debemos hacer. Pero también, si se ponen en contacto conmigo, yo los puedo poner en contacto con Joey también, o simplemente bajando una app a través del celular. Pueden ver que también hay Zoom meetings.
Zoom meetings, and if you go to aa-report.org, it lists all the meetings in the Shreveport-Bossier area.
Y como todos sabemos, el Zoom app se puede bajar por nuestro celular, luego a través de unos steps, de unos pasitos, uno puede empezar una meeting, puede poner Join Meeting, poner la Meeting ID, y de esa manera ir a una AA meeting desde tu teléfono o una Al-Anon meeting para los familiares desde tu teléfono, desde la seguridad de tu propia casa. Uno puede bloquear el video, también puede bloquear el sonido y nadie va a saber tu identidad. Ni tampoco tienes que poner tu nombre mientras haces estas reuniones.
We are, and I hate to say this, but we are limited in the number of Hispanic meetings or Spanish-speaking community. There we are limited in some of those, but we are working on it.
Joy quiere admitir que estamos un poquito limitados en las personas que hablan español, que ofrecen reuniones ahora de alcoholismo o de drogas, pero están trabajando activamente para crear más.
And if any listeners out there are familiar with any of the meetings that you may have that are private, then I would recommend getting in touch with 318 the radio station, Latino, 318 Latino. And I'm sure our illustrious gentleman that I'm talking to right now would be able to plug that into somebody. But I have to say, one of the most things that I'm most passionate about right now and thinking about this is if you really are at your wit's end, you need to get help. And it's not, you're not a bad person. If you have a DUI, you're not a bad person. You made a bad decision. Don't let one bad action dictate the rest of your life.
This is so important. Esto es tan importante. No dejes que una mala acción que tomaste un día y tuviste un DWI, o usaste una droga, o abusaste de alcohol y tuviste una consecuencia legal. No dejes que esa única situación de haber tomado una mala decisión una noche afecte el resto de tu vida. Por favor, es para saber de que puedes tener ayuda. Como yo hoy decía, puedes contactar a Brian aquí en 318 Latino para que te dé más información sobre reuniones que puede haber en español de alcoholismo, o simplemente Brian también te puede guiar a mí, a Joy, a la gente que uno necesite. Estamos aquí para ofrecer ayuda. We are here today to offer people help.
I want to say something that I've heard that I really, really like. It's an acronym, and it comes from the word fear. When I have problems with alcohol, drugs, or even with family, fear is really just false events appearing real. False events appearing real.
El miedo son eventos falsos que parecen real. Eso es la definición del miedo. No tengas miedo. Todo por ahí lo que tu mente te está diciendo o cómo juzgarte a vos mismo no es real, no es lo que está pasando. Uno tiene siempre la oportunidad de cambiar.
And then the one that I really like is, how do I become sober of mind? And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're an alcoholic. You can be drunk acting and never have touched an alcohol. That means you're just acting cray-cray.
Joey is telling us, no tienes que ser un alcohólico para estar no sobrio mentalmente. Uno puede estar teniendo una adicción, obviamente, con otras cosas, como ir al casino o ciertos formas de ser que no están bien, o simplemente por tu propia depresión, tu propia ansiedad, tu propia diferencia de sentirte incómodo en tu propia piel.
So this is how you can act sober of mind. And the only way you can do that is an acronym for HOW. The word how is honesty.
¿Cómo puedes estar mentalmente sobrio? Es HOW, honestidad.
Honesty, open-mindedness.
Abriendo tu mente, open-minded, que significa abriendo tu mente, HO.
And then the W is I have to have willingness.
Y willingness, que significa querer hacerlo, ¿no, Brian? ¿Cómo
Sí,
lo traducirías tú?
Sí, es las ganas de hacerlo, el querer
Exacto.
hacerlo.
So we have to have honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And if you don't have any of those,
Si no tenemos honestidad, mente abierta y las ganas y la energía de hacerlo y de hacerlo día a día,
don't ever say you're open-minded if you're not honest.
nunca digas que tienes una mente abierta si no estás siendo honesto.
So honesty is the one thing that has to be brutal to you. Is you just have to really be honest about who you are and what is
Debemos
your
de ser
problem.
honestos con quién somos realmente. ¿Y cuál es tu problema?
I can only speak for myself, but I think and I'm just sitting here thinking, one of the success stories that I have is my own. And I'm very grateful for for the blessing of truly being honest with myself, finally.
Una de las mayores historias exitosas que Joey tiene es la de él mismo. Él llegó a un punto donde tuvo que ser honesto y reconocer lo que le estaba pasando. And we're so proud of you, Joey. We are all so proud of you for being honest and for being here today, helping others like you always do. That's an extra age we need to add there, helping others, because Joey is the live example of how he's helping others to be sober. Joey nos está diciendo que él tiene su propia historia de éxito y realmente dar el ejemplo y poder ayudar a otros es una inspiración para todos nosotros. You're an inspiration for all of us, always.
Thank you.
Bueno, pues damas y caballeros, amigos, amigas, gente de la nación entera. Gracias.
I love it.
Gracias por estar con nosotros el día de hoy. Thank you, Joey, so much for being with us today.
It's my pleasure.
Mental health is something that is tackling this nation. I would say it's the worst virus in the world at the moment. So many millions and billions of people have depression, anxiety, stress, and I would say a gigantic percentage of these people have absolutely no idea how to tackle it, not where to start, not what steps to take, and it is worse than a virus. And you know how our bodies naturally work combating a virus is, you know, our body creates antibodies that learn how to fight it and then reproduce and show others how to do it. And that's what I see you doing, is you're fighting this virus. You're teaching people how to get it, you know, past it so that they can then go on and help other people.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, that's virtue. That's virtuous, man. Thank you for doing it.
Yes. Algo que quiero agregar antes de terminar el show es que muchos de estos recursos en AA, en Alcohólicos Anónimos, también pueden estar en español. El libro de AA puede estar en español, y otro tipo de literatura que puede ayudarte a seguir los steps. Joey los puede también pedir en español. I'm saying, Joey, that you could also order some of these resources in Spanish, like AA books and things like that. These already exist
if you
today.
If you go to aa-report.org, their website has a hotline number that you can call, and the office they have a new because of the coronavirus, they have new office hours, but they also sell books and resources, some help books and stuff like that.
How much are the books, Joey, usually?
They vary in price. Some of them are $9 to $10, depending on if you're getting hardback or soft cover. If they don't have a book that is translatable, they have resources to order them. Also, there's resources online as well.
Okay. Estamos diciendo que están todos los recursos de Al-Anon y también de AA en español para la comunidad latina.
And since you've asked the question, what I'll do is I'll get a list of resources to Natalia and to 318 Latino, and y'all have a website, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
So what we'll do is I'll get the resources together and I'll let y'all have that. So
that will be great.
Perfect.
That would be great, Brian. I think that, you know, everything happens for a reason. So for sure we will have those resources to help you guys. Vamos a tener estos recursos ahora en español para poder ayudar también a nuestra comunidad latina.
Excelente. Bueno, damas y caballeros, muchísimas gracias por estar con nosotros el día de hoy en Consulta con la doctora Natalia. And thank you, Joy, for being here. Thank you, Natalia.
Thank you, Brian, too.
Yeah,
You're
Brian.
like making it happen.
Man, it's me and a lot of people. Well, adios.
Peace out, guys.
Ya no necesitas buscar. Lo mejor del regional, urbano,
Me dijo mi madre que yo nunca me rajé.
pop y tropical está en una sola radio. 318 Latino. Por internet desde Shreveport.